when you marry a woman, right, I need men to please understand that you didn't marry a baby making machine. Marriage should not be about having children. Marriage is a partnership for life. Marriage is a journey to death do you part. It's okay for you to not have any children and for death to do you. That's your partner, that's your friend. The kids grow and go.
Amazing people of God. It's a privilege to have you with me on this session. This is Renewed by Truth. I'm your host, Henry, and today we're having one of the most uninterrupted conversations in the world right now. But I feel like it's a privilege to have this conversation. As a young man, there are a lot of things that we cannot take out of our lives. One of the inevitables is the women in our lives. But as it stands, for a young man like me, I think it's very important that we get to know the ins and outs of these beautiful creatures God has given us. And most of the time, it's hard for us to, cohabit, co-work together. So today, I have in my studios one of my very own, my personal person, to help me understand the construct of these people. I want to know about women. So join me as we delve into it. And today I have with me beautiful Miss Abena Brace. How are you doing, madam?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Are you okay?
I'm good.
Awesome. Would you mind telling us who is Abena Brace a little bit so that my people will know that this is the right person they should listen to or they are go-to as you give us this powerful session?
Where do I begin? Abna is Abna. I'm not sure how to. Abna is just your everyday woman. Busy work, trying to balance work, family, church, all that. So I'm excited to talk to you about my species. So let's see how that goes.
You've been a woman, you've been around for some time now, so I think you are the right person to
Almost 40.
speak to. Wow. So I think it's a great privilege to get to speak with you.
It is.
And I don't take this moment lightly at all.
Okay.
So I think I would like us to start from a very calm place.
Okay.
You've been a woman for some time now.
Yes.
And you've been around the planet for some time. You've had some interactions with both, men and women, and you've known about how to go about stuff. How would you describe womanhood at this stage of your life?
For me, right now, is balancing self-care with making sure I'm caring for everybody. So making sure that I'm able to show up the way I should, but also not neglect myself as well. Just taking care of my health as well. Understanding who I am, getting to know who I am, how I deal with things. And of course, you mature over time. The person I was in my teens is not who I was in my 20s, in my 30s, getting to 40. So you change as you get older, you kind of balance it out. So for me right now, it's just keeping it together, being balanced in a way that I can show up for the people that I need to show up for.
But hasn't been a very easy transition.
Oh, no, it's never easy. You go through things as a woman, right? Things that not even within us as women would understand you, right? But it's also part of growing up. I think challenges are part of growing up. But it's being able to know who you are is very important. Being self-aware of who you are, places you should and shouldn't be as a woman, your health as a woman. So it's not an easy thing, but it's doable. If you put your mind to it, you'll do it.
It's doable.
It's doable.
Wow, awesome. So throughout your life, would you be able to spot one myth that you think should immediately die as it stands?
Yes, that women are irrational or we're emotional.
Really?
We are not irrational. The whole thing with hormones, there is a study for it. There's a stance for it. So it's being able to understand those things, and you're able to understand what is going on with us, right? So I need that myth today that women are irrational, women are inconsiderate, and we use hormones as excuses. I need it dead because that's not the way we operate.
Are you saying that it is being propagated by people that you are irrational people, or it is what you people make you feel like?
I think I get it from men than I do from other women. Women know women. Women understand women. Women know what we're going through. A woman can tell you what you're going through, even what cycle you're on, by the way you're behaving or the things you want or how you're feeling. But when emotions are like signals, right? Emotions are telling you what a person is feeling. And for us, unfortunately, there are so many hormones coursing through our body at any given time that causes us to feel a certain kind of way. So we're not irrational. I feel the question people need to ask is you need to ask why the person is. We think of emotion without context. We see things and we don't understand the context of it. So, for example, you say something to your lady and she's crying, and to you she's sensitive, but you're not taking into context how she's feeling or what she's going through or what's going on. And we have invisible emotional labors that women go through that a lot of people do not recognize or take into account. So
Wow.
that we just need to stop saying we're not irrational people.
Wow, I think we'll definitely go into these
Right.
areas very, very well because I'll be very glad to know because I am one of the people who suffer um, women not being straightforward when it comes
Right.
to stuff. But maybe it's as of my own limited view or my skewed vision of how
Right.
women operate.
It could be.
So, but in a nutshell, do you think women are often misunderstood or not just, deeply related with?
I think women are misunderstood, and I think women also misunderstand women. We are not the same. Even as people, we're not perfect. We're flawed in our ways. But I find that we're misunderstood because, again, we don't put in context. So we need to understand that the fact that we all have the same hormones coursing through us as women, not everybody reacts the same way you react to it. Some women have a better hold, a better grip on their emotions, a better grip on the understanding, the way they take care of themselves, whereas some women do not. I mean, a woman in her late 30s on has a better understanding of her emotions than a teenager, than a 19-year-old would, like 25-year-old would. So it's a balance there with maturing and also understanding where you're going through, who you are. And it's one of those things that we don't take that seriously of who we are as people, as women. It's not something that it's not something we're really thought to consider. So,
I think one of the things I'm getting there is what you mean by context. So when you are relating with women, you bring into context their age,
yes, like
the
even
kind of
life
people.
experiences, exposure, age, the kind of friends they have, the kind of family they come from, the kind of environment they grew up in, right? You have to consider all those things when you're dealing with, and it's not just when with people in general, but we're talking about women. So yes, you have to consider how they were raised, the way Abna was raised, not the same way Amma was raised. It's different cultures, even across the country. We come from different cultures. In our culture, there are subcultures. So when you're talking to when you're dealing with women, you have to consider that. Even in our religious background, different churches have different practices that influences the way a woman would behave, the way a woman speaks. So you have to consider context in that sense when you're dealing with women, right?
I agree with
Yeah.
you. But I struggle to get context sometimes, but like, it's fine. But women themselves, I've heard a lot of women themselves say, you can't understand us. And
Right.
some of them even say, we don't even understand ourselves.
Right.
So, how do we deal with this? Is this even true? Like, what is it about?
To
Because now
an
you're saying that
extent,
you are misunderstood,
yeah.
you are this, you're that, but you're seeing people are saying that we don't even understand
I
ourselves, you can't
think it
understand
has
us.
to do with the extent at which we do not understand each other. So a 50-year-old might understand a 20-year-old, but a 20-year-old will not understand a 50-year-old. There are certain life experiences that shape your thoughts, shape the way you even deal with things, right? If you've never experienced it, you don't have that exposure, you are not going to experience those things. So when I was younger, when I'm in my 20s, I don't understand. I would say that, oh, I don't understand certain things. Even my mom, I would say I don't understand what my mom. But as you get older, you're like, oh, I get it, right? So we don't understand each other in the sense that the same hormones course through all of us, but the way we deal with it is very different. Like when I'm going through, let's say, I don't even know. I'm trying to find an example, but like you're aware, like women have a 28-day cycle. I could be in any part of my cycle, and the way I react is not the same way someone else is in the same cycle. So we kind of need to understand those things, and sometimes it's easier to say we can't explain it to you than it is to go into depth of exactly what's wrong. So we understand each other, but it has to also do like my friends will understand me, right? But a younger person might not, an older person might not, or may understand me. It has to do with the age and the experiences and where they're coming from, right? So
That is even amongst yourself, but even
yes,
outside yourself, that is when
yeah,
it comes to me relating to you, a
yeah,
female, there's most of it, there's contention. And I think where it comes from mostly is because women themselves can't explain and express their emotions very well.
right,
They can't let us know that this is why I'm doing this. And
right,
most of the time, this irrationality, when it comes in, is like, I'll still do it,
right.
but I know I'm being irrational. And everything gets mixed up.
I think
So I think that's
it's
where
a
we got that.
misunderstanding. I think people, you have to sometimes give grace and understand people. And I think for a long time, a lot of people do not give grace. You want things a certain way, right? So you tend to butt head with somebody because there's a way you want things. And naturally, like in the natural order of things, I think men and women do not operate the same way. We're not, the way we look at things are not from the same point of view, right? So in most homes, you find that the dad is expected to do the disciplining, whereas the mom is the nurturing. I mean, it goes both ways. You find homes where the woman is the. So you have to understand that we're very different in our roles, in the way we handle things. Even in our Bible, our roles are not the same. So when a woman is quote unquote irrational or unreasonable, the question should be why. Not exactly. There's a reason why we would do what we do. There's always it's not we don't know. Sometimes it's just to get back at you because we can. It's just to piss you off because
Okay.
I mean why not, right?
All right,
But
that's fine.
so you have to consider those things when you bet head. And when you go into a conversation with a woman and you start with women are unreasonable, it's not going anywhere because you've already pre-perceived what is going to happen. So you are not able to look past those things, and you should be able to look past those things. And for women saying we don't understand each other, I think it's easier to just say, "Oh, we can't explain it," than to get into the science of it with you, because you still won't understand. If if you're with your lady and one random day she's craving something she doesn't eat, to use that, where is this coming from, right? But she knows what she's going through and she wants that. She can't explain it to you.
Why is that you don't have vocabulary to explain or what?
I find that yes, we can't find the vocabulary, and so oftentimes expressing yourself can be very dicey when because you have to choose your words, and sometimes it's easier to just say, "Just do it for me," than it is for me to go into the science of why I want ice cream at 2 a.m. Right? So
So why do some women now try to make most of their irresponsible behaviors about hormonal imbalances? I've heard a lot about hormonal imbalances,
right.
and I want to know: is it just really about? Is it true, or is it just an escape from reality and responsibility?
It's a it's a mix of both. So hormonal balances are real. It doesn't appear the same way in every woman. So, for example, PCOS is an hormonal imbalance, but it appears differently for every woman. You have women that have the excess hair. You have women that have the weight. You have women that a lot. Like it shows up differently for every woman. So you won't see it. Another thing, there are we can go on. There's a list and a list and a list of things that women go, but hormonal imbalances also affects the way we behave, the way we think, the way we feel, and that's where the emotions come in. Because if a woman is not happy with herself, then she's just not happy, right? So I find that again, it's not I don't know how to say. I mean, there are some behaviors that we can all agree as women that, okay, that's a bit to the left, right? That's not right. But hormonal imbalance is very real. It's a thing that most women are going through and they keep to themselves, but it's a thing that is happening around us. It's a thing that affects our day to day, even the way we think, the way we feel, how we relate to people. So it's kind of hard to say, but it's there. Is it the reason why we are irrational? I can't really say. I'm not an expert. It's not my field. But it is there. And for some people, it's harder for them to. So if you don't know what's wrong with you, there are people, and it's the same with like chemical imbalances in people, right? So there is some truth to it, but not entirely.
Entirely.
Yes, it's not entirely why we quote unquote misbehave.
Okay, but
Right.
how much do hormones affect women in ways that people often underestimate?
Oh my God, a lot. You know, in the perfect world, you're good, right? Like everything, you can lose weight, gain weight, eat whatever you want. Like your body is fine. But any other time, it affects it. For example, women who just had a baby, postpartum is a form of like hormonal imbalance.
Okay.
And it's often overlooked as
What is
baby blues.
postpartum?
It's after a woman has a baby,
Okay.
we call it baby blues sometimes. So it's when I'll give you like I don't have the scientific term, but you find that a woman has a baby and she's depressed. Some of them don't want to hold the baby. Some of them can't even get out of bed. So think of depression, but then this is after having a baby, and they're very sensitive at that time. And a lot of people don't understand. It's like, oh, you just had a baby. It's supposed to be a joyous time in your life. But your hormones are going back to, I mean, when you're pregnant, some hormones increase to kind of help you stay pregnant, keep the baby healthy. Now you had the baby and your body is trying to go back to what it was 9 months ago. That's a lot. You have a lot of system crash, so to speak, in your body, right? So you have some women that go as far as suicide to just escape that feeling, right? Because nobody again, they can't explain it to you. So when you find that you have someone going through that, that is a hormone imbalance, right? But to someone on the outside, you're like, you had a baby, why you depressed, why you cry? But they're going through and they can't explain it to you and I, but they know what they're feeling, right? So that's one of them. And we've talked about PCOS. You have like a lot of things that are happening with women in terms of hormonal imbalances that are driving them into to extremes to get out of it, right? So it's a thing. It's a thing that is happening.
Should we normalize this? They can't explain it, and because I've heard you say it quite a number of times,
Right.
and I don't know how we can live with that. Because for some of us, we are like tit for tat kind of people, like
Petty.
fix it. Like,
Right.
we are like, okay,
Right.
what's happening? Tell me
Right.
how. So how should we normalize it? Because
It's not
we keep
normal because
repeating it.
it's a hormonal imbalance is not normal. So I'm not saying we're not normalizing it. The reason why I say we can't explain it is that sometimes the vocabulary fails us. I can't explain. There are feelings that you can't explain. There's no word you would find that will explain to another person how they're feeling and what I'm feeling. If I explain to you, for example, a knife cutting you, it will cut me and I'm like, oh, we'll just wash it. It will cut somebody and they'll be rolling on the floor screaming. It's hard to explain feelings because it's not a common thing. It's not a blue, it's not a color. You can't say this is blue or this is green. It's different for every person. I just encourage people to educate themselves, right? If you're with a woman and she tells you I have PCOS, I have anything that she's saying that she's going through, educate yourself, align yourself, understand. That is support, right? Is once you educate yourself, then you can understand what the person is going through, right? So research it, throughout pregnancy, even through pregnancy, there are hormone imbalances throughout in the sense that there are a little bit of behavior, even cravings. You would find that they're craving things that they may never eat again or they've never asked for, right? So I think for us, the general public or men, I think educate yourselves, take it upon yourselves if you care about her. Take it upon yourself to understand her from. Go to doctor visits with her. Go. You have a doctor friend. Go and see a doctor. Educate yourself. It's the only way you can help somebody get through whatever they are going through. is having that understanding from that perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so would you say that women are taught to normalize pain that they shouldn't actually normalize?
Yes.
Why?
Because a woman is supposed to have it together. I'll give you an example with mothers.
Okay.
I wonder how many people have seen their mother cry. You don't. It's not a. It's more so not allowed. It's a mom must be together. She's putting you together. She has the kids. There's a lot of emotional labor that goes into women, like especially in motherhood marriages, that we can't speak about or we don't complain about because culturally it is right. So, doing the
Culturally, it is right.
culturally is not culturally it's accepted or culturally is expected. It might not be right, but it's expected. A woman is expected to be nurturing.
Really?
It's an expectation.
Okay.
If there was a child in the room and gravitating towards a woman and she moved, the reaction would be
Okay, true. I
it's
agree.
we're not allowed to even say no. Like your mother can't wake up tired. When we're younger, your mother doesn't get to be tired. I mean, you hear say, "Oh, my brain," like she'll sit down, like, but your mom never sat down to rest. Always making sure that she's always on top of some. There's always something that she has to take care of, and even outside of motherhood, in relationships, in marriages, in friendships, we have to show up, right? So there's a lot of emotional labor that we don't complain about because it's expected. As a woman, you have to be that person, right? We have to be nurturing, we have to be patient, and we go through things and it's like enyeshi, like we're supposed to put it on the back burner and let it slide. A woman is not supposed to raise her voice. A woman shouldn't really say what's on her mind, because a woman must be respectful. A lot of these things we put on the back burner, but women go through a lot of things that again is indescribable. So
I
they
think I
kind of put it,
personally, yeah,
they put it in their pocket and soldier on.
I'm just sitting here. I think this is not the culture that we want to keep pioneering in our age. I think this is an oldie thing. But I think we have young men today who still want women to show up with full chest out always and try to keep everything together. We
Right.
still have what today we call ourselves Gen Z, but we have Gen Z guys who want to operate with all those
Right.
outmoded cultures that
Right.
women should be housewives,
Right.
do all the chores at
Right.
home. 100% I disagree with it. I don't think I want my woman to be like that. I don't think I want my woman to do everything in the house, bear all the pain, even when I can help. Because most of the time, even when we can help, it is like it is your job. I don't believe that.
I agree with you, but I also think that you have to know the kind of woman. You see, there are different kinds of women, and you have to know the kind of woman that you are choosing. There are women that are willing to do all that. The women that their love language is act of service. They must clean, they must cook for you, they must make sure you're okay. That makes them happy. That's the way they love you, right? So it's about knowing the kind of woman that you're going for. Of course, if you go for a woman that is a career woman, you don't expect her to go. You have men who expect her to go and come back and cook. But like you said, I think that gender roles can be better discussed. Even from childhood, like our culture, you find that boys are allowed to play and then girls are expected to be in the kitchen, learn how to cook, learn how to take care of a home. But we don't have the same traditional structures our parents had. Like back in the day, I saw this tweet that was funny. It said back in the day, our dads could even have a second family and we were still upper class, right? And we don't have that anymore. Like now in this time, women have to equally work to kind of support the home. But there are men who have enough and feel like, okay, I don't want you working. I want you to be able to take care of my children, take care of the home. And I feel like you have to also ask what makes a woman fulfilled. Every woman has what makes them fulfilled. There are women that their fulfillment is in their career, growth in their career. There are women whose fulfillment is education. They want to go, have higher education. The woman whose fulfillment is being a mother and a wife. and a housewife. That brings her fulfillment. That's her joy, is to wake up and make sure her husband is taken care of, breakfast is served. So you have to also be careful when it's okay if you say I don't want that kind of woman, but it's important to also remember that then don't choose that kind of woman. But I won't call it primitive, because there are women out there who are raised, and that is their fulfillment, is to be that brings them joy. You can't take that away from them. So I think it's important to understand, even among women, the kind of women that we have. We're different types of women, and it's okay. I think we should respect those choices as long as they are healthy choices. The person is healthy, they're well taken care of. It's important, right? And we just move along with that, because there are men out there that would disagree with you and say, no, 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 my woman must cook and clean, and that's okay, right? But on off topic, in what you said, I think that the new mothers coming up who are raising boys should instill that independence and responsibility in boys as well. I think is important, because we raise boys forgetting that they're going to be with other girls, right? So we need to encourage our boys to be helpful. It's not necessarily, you don't have to do the cooking or anything, but if you don't want to, but be helpful, right? I'm gonna say, "Oba no ebeng, bema no ebeng." Yeah, if one of you comes back from work, put something together, text the other person, hey, are you coming home? What will you eat? You won't, oh, I'm on my way home. Should I bring food? But aside, I think boys or men don't really know and I feel like you will never know exactly what you want till you have some life experiences, and you do some self-awareness, and you know what you want, right? So it's important to align yourself with what you are looking for. So if you want her to stay at home and raise your kids, are you financially ready to take on the burden of everything else, right? Because the emotional labor is what you are giving her. Are you ready to take on the physical and financial labor by yourself, right? You cannot ask her to do all that and then you complain that "Sikeni," but you also don't want her to work to support you. So that's something that a whole separate discussion that needs to be had. But it's important to know the kind of woman that you want and pursue that kind of woman, because all of us don't have the same fulfillment. What makes me happy or what I want for me to feel fulfilled in life is not what my sister would want, right? So we should be able to respect those choices, but also understand those choices and be okay with it.
Well, yes, I'll maybe try, because sometimes I feel it's not okay sometimes,
Right.
because the way it happened in the past, we've seen how most often it's really denigrated women.
Right.
But now, if we have the opportunity to change the status quo, why
Right.
not? And all I'm trying to say is that yes, women may have some traditional roles that they should
Right.
play, but in times where they can't do it, for instance, I can't insist my woman should keep doing what she should do when she's heavily pregnant, let's say 8 months or close to, some women when they are pregnant, they have a lot of breakdowns,
Right.
but you can see them still sitting behind Banku trying to do whatever they have to do, and the guys are there, and like they are still expected, like you say, to do certain things that will affect them physically and emotionally, even when they are not able. And that is where I think men should come in and let go of that kind of barrier that women are supposed to do this, supposed to. That is what I'm trying to say.
And I think that that's a conversation to be had with them. And also, like, my advice to women raising boys is that teach them. You teach them how to treat women. Teach them the way you would like to be treated. I don't even know the proper way to put it, but teach them. Because I feel like that has to do with upbringing. And there are a lot of men out there who know, even their mothers are not like, if their mother showed up and his wife was pregnant, the mom's going to be upset. Why is she doing this? She should be resting, right? So it's important for men to know that, and it's teaching. You have to teach these things, and it's a choice, right? So it's about being considerate, right? Like you said, I've seen women who are pregnant and she'll go to antenatal by herself in the hot sun by herself, and I've experienced people around me who have been pregnant and their husbands had no clue what was happening. No idea, never been to an antenatal, never asked her, nothing. And he expects food to be done. And I mean, again, if she's willing, you see, you have to be considerate. It's a give and take. Some women are willing to, she's like, oh, I can barely reach the stove, but I still want to cook for you. It's okay to tell her to rest. It's okay to cater food. Okay, it's okay for her to stay in bed and you can serve her, right? It's okay to outsource your laundry, outsource the housework at some point, but not everybody can afford to do. And I understand that it's not something that is affordable to
I
everybody.
agree with you,
Right.
and I think that is where we also have to come with a supposed to kind of
Right.
rule that
Yes.
men are
Yes.
supposed to step in
Yeah.
when those times show up.
Right.
That is all.
I think it's a character thing. Consideration is a character thing. Not everybody's considerate. Men, women, right? So, we're going off course here.
But that's fine. So it means that
But
we can't just put a rule to it. It varies, right?
that's what I'm saying.
That's
It's a
fine.
character thing.
That's fine.
Consideration is all it is. I think that the word for it is if you're considerate, you care. If you're considerate, you consider the person, right? So if you're considerate and your wife is 8 months pregnant, you understand that she can't be sitting there trying to make food. She can't be near hot stoves, and you understand that. So you take it upon yourself to make her life easier.
True.
Right? So it's even the same with women. When you're with a woman, it's being considerate, even in their times of quote unquote irrational behavior. Just consideration is all that somebody needs from
Great.
you, right?
Great. So when it comes to the construct of women,
Right.
do you wish men should know certain specifics about the framework of the women, like the women, their body? Is there specifics that we must know?
For men.
Yeah, for men, yeah.
I think you should know her. It depends. I mean, if you're friends, maybe you don't really need to know a lot, but there are some things you have to know. Educate yourself, like I said, on women's health. It doesn't take a lot to just know. And my rule for people is just Google something. When a woman says something you don't know, if your friends, oh, I'm going through like PMS. It will take you 5 minutes to, PMS is pre-menstrual something. I don't remember what the S is for. But basically, the women that go through just before their period starts, they go, like I told you, the 28-day cycles. Women go through, some of them are moody, some of them are emotional, some of them eat more at that time, sleep more at that time. And then a woman will tell you that, oh, you know what, I'm getting there, I'm close to that. So it's something that I think men need to know and educate themselves. If you're with a woman, educate yourself on, get to know her, not the health part alone, the context of what makes her a woman, her background, her exposure, her experiences, the way she thinks, the way her outlook on life, religion, even parenting, conflict styles.
True.
I feel like sometimes we don't take into context all these things and just easily assume, oh, she's not a good woman or this or that and the third. But
Okay.
we have to consider that to make it a wholesome thing, right? So I think men need to take it upon themselves to be informed. Is the word I'm looking
True.
for.
And
Be informed.
Yeah.
Be informed. If you don't know, you can ask. I don't think there's any woman out there who refuse you education on a question, right? Google it. Talk to a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Be informed.
True.
Yeah.
True. And I think that's why I'm here to be informed as well and talk about menstrual cycle.
Right.
It's one heavy thing that it's really said most of the time. But what does
Right.
real support during a woman's menstrual cycle actually looks like?
To every woman, their cycle is different. Ask her what she needs, but I think that on top of your head, just make sure like she has a warm meal to eat. She's eating something, she's resting, she's not too stressed. Anything that you can take off her hand to do for her, try and do it.
That is for married people.
We're talking about unmarried people.
No, I think this is for married people, right?
Married or married, if you're dating her and you're in a relationship, support her. You can run an errand for her. It won't take anything from you to run an errand for her.
true.
Yeah, ask her. Where did he? Where did he is the third thing to ask a woman. after how are you and did you sleep well is, have you eaten something? Ask her, did you eat? Do you need anything? Because sometimes some of us need medication, but we can't leave the house to get it. Some people are hospitalized. They have to go and seek medical like help, right? So you need to ask her what she needs. But I think for me, support looks like just asking. Sometimes it's the thought that counts. It's not necessarily you doing anything, but you even availing yourself to say, hey, what can I do to ease it for you? It's important. Like we need that. Yeah.
Well, I think you're very right when it comes to that, but this is most often the things that we don't discuss,
Right.
and even women don't like opening up about this kind of cycle thing.
No.
So how do we know if
I'll
should
run
women
it
also
back.
take it upon themselves that they make?
I'll run it back a little bit. So for periods, I think growing up, it was one of the things that I was embarrassed about. Even to go and get a sanitary towel, I won't go into the store and ask for it. And I think it's the way we look at it as a society, right? The way we make it feel like it's something unnatural, or we make it's an embarrassing thing. We attach a bit of embarrassment to it, and it shouldn't be that way. So I feel like a woman will not just open up to you about it just because. But as a man or a husband or a guy, she's in quote unquote talking stage. I feel like these are questions that I feel like men should take about you and ask. You can ask a woman, hey, on your cycle, what does it feel like? Right? And she can let you know that, okay, I have unbearable cramps, or mine is fine, or I don't have it. And you're like, why? Okay, I have PCOS, I have this or that is why. So I feel like when we enter any sort of relationship with a woman, be it dating, even if it's friends, it's okay to ask how you can show up for that person, right? So I think it's a question that it's not I don't owe you that, because we're used to taking care of it ourselves. But as men, it's okay to ask, right? And then you can ask her what she needs. And she can tell you what she needs.
You spoke about emotional labor earlier on.
Right.
I would like to know, is there any emotional labor that you people carry that we don't see?
A lot. Like I mentioned, our moms, right? Your mother wakes up in the morning traditionally, and she's supposed to make sure you're well taken care of. You ate something, your dad ate something, you're ready for school. You're the nurturing part of it, and then we deal with like everything else, like work and all that. Women are supposed to be calm creatures. We're expected to be cold. I don't want to use proper. It's not the word I'm looking for. We're supposed to be put together, right? We're allowed to cry, but then it's like, oh, get it together, let's move on. Women are not allowed to feel. We'll solve it, we'll solve it. And I use our mothers as an example because our culture, I find that our mothers have a lot of emotional labor that we take for granted, right, at the time. Because to you, your mom is washing your clothes, she's cooking your food, she's making sure you eat, right? Not every mother does that. But for those of us that have had moms who do that, I think the older you get, you realize how much emotional labor went into that, and you don't complain, right? So it's important for us to recognize that for women that come through for each and every one of us, and also even the emotional labor they go through for themselves, dealing with other aspects of their lives that are not going the way they should. They are burdened with it, but there's nobody to really tell. So
I think
they
that's one
sit
of
with
the
it.
parts too that has been normalized.
Right.
And that is how come women don't open up and they bottle everything up and they try to show up every day. I think they've not. I don't think that's what the feminist people are even trying to fight for.
Right.
But this is something that I think women should stand up for, so that they are really catered for in that way, and they don't bottle up all
We
that
can't
kind of labor.
force you to be reasonable, right? You can't force somebody to be considerate. You can't force somebody to be reasonable. It's impossible, right? So if I'm going through whatever I'm going through, it's hard for me to because again, I'll switch up here. Is the question, right? I feel like when we open up, what are we looking for? Are we looking for you to listen? Are we looking for a solution? Are we just wanting to vent? Those are I've heard that puts every time you call her and you want to complain, she would ask you, am I listening? am I offering advice?
I do that sometimes.
Or you just want to, like, I need to know, so I know how to, and I love that, and I learned that from her, because that helps me also handle it. But I think that we can't, I mean, I can tell you all the things that is wrong with me, but what does it do for us? Are you going to help me solve it? Are you going to support me? And I feel like sometimes we are raised with a type of mentality where a woman must put it in her pocket and move on. Like, you don't get to, tell anybody what you're going through. But I think we need to open those spaces for these things, conversations to be had, and had in a way that they can feel support from around them, right? So it's necessary. It's a necessary conversation to be had, but who pioneers that conversation?
Well, so sometimes when women become difficult, are they unreasonable, or is it because maybe they are exhausted or something?
Context. Why is she being difficult? I don't think anybody is inherently difficult. Nobody is inherently difficult, or like, we're all flawed in our ways. But what is difficult? Because difficult to me is not difficult to you. What I would consider difficult to me is not difficult to you, right? We usually call a stubborn woman difficult, or a woman who stands her grounds difficult, or a woman who says what's on her mind difficult, because you are calling her difficult because you can't control her, or you're calling her difficult because she doesn't fit into your traditional, not you, but like your, in sense of like plural, like your box of what a woman should be, right? So difficult for me is relative. So if she's difficult, why? And in one context is she being difficult? So if you meet a girl who wants to keep her chastity till marriage, and you're trying and she's just not, but is she difficult because you're not getting your way?
Okay, so you want to say this term as being used to try and suppress women?
I think is used to misunderstand women, or justify the other person's actions. Because difficult is what I consider difficult is not what you would consider difficult. That's why I gave the chaste example, is that she's being difficult because she's not willing to break her purity promise. Or a woman is difficult because she's not willing to give you money to support your dreams. Or is she being difficult because she won't cook and clean? What is difficult? Because I don't think women are difficult. I think it's important to understand the context in which they're being difficult, right? So if I called you and I was like, I'm trying to find an example. I need an example of what would be considered difficult.
True. And I wish you can maybe right off the bat see to one of these areas where we try to make women feel like you are being difficult.
I think it's difficult is when you disagree with somebody. It goes with all of us. We just think the other person is being difficult if it's not going your way. And sometimes you have to consider the other person on why it's not going your way. So if you're in talking stages with a girl and you ask her to come home to cook and clean and she's just like, no, thank you. Is she being difficult? It's her boundary. And I feel like sometimes what it is that when we set boundaries, we have this thing where when people cannot erode your boundary, you are difficult because you have these boundaries that you are not letting anybody cross. And I noticed that culturally, or like here in this part of the world, you are difficult because people can't erode your boundary. So I think it's a boundary issue. It's not necessarily difficult because again, why is it difficult for you? If a girl says no to whatever it is, move on. It's okay, right? So I think it's more like a boundary thing. If there are women out there who will never financially support you in any way until you are married to them, there are women out there who will keep their chest. There are women out there who don't do talking stages. They're not cooking or cleaning for you. The woman who will not do it till you marry her, right? So, or a woman wants to go somewhere and you want to go somewhere more affordable. She doesn't want to go. Move on.
True.
Right? There's no need to move on. It's not being difficult. That's what she wants. It's okay if you cannot. It's okay you can't afford. It's okay. That's not working out for you. Let's move on.
There's this thing that to quickly transition to one of my favorite parts is pregnancy.
Right.
I feel like women most often feel this deep pain when they are struggling with fertility.
Right.
Where does it come from?
Everywhere. culture, religion. We'll go back to the beginning in Genesis. Eve had one job, right? And one job. What was Eve to do? Adam
Was
was
it
to
support?
work,
Yeah.
and Eve was to.
She was to support.
And what
You
was
know,
her curse?
produce, yeah.
So it's something that as women we expected to be. Anybody going through infertility wherever they are is a woman first. Nobody ever asks the man that. Nobody ever side eyes the man and says, "Bro, then of course it's a woman." Any woman who does that is a woman, right? And I think that it's the deep pain is from sometimes we put women in a place where we expect them to do it, right? So growing up, you're expected to go to school, get a job, find a man, get married, have children. In that, not in that order, but a woman is expected to have children. But life happens, and sometimes even our religion, in our religions we expect it from the woman, and so it hurts. Like I think it is one of those things you cannot necessarily describe. And then you have the womb watchers, who are looking at their watch and looking at you, and 9 months after your marriage the questions start to arise. And I think that it's something we have to put a stop to, because a lot of people don't discuss. You don't know what couples are going through, right? Sometimes, just recently, there was a video of a woman who talked about how she covered her husband's infertility for years because it was easier to blame her than it was. She couldn't imagine telling people that her husband was the reason why they had no children, right? So I think that we need to give women some grace.
True.
And be considerate.
True.
But it's a burden that we carry unconsciously from birth. It's part of being a woman as a whole, is your ability to have children, is the way we are raised to feel, right? So it's not necessarily how do I put it? It's not necessarily that we just want to be in pain because we like it, but it's our surroundings. After a while, you can't show your face because everybody starts looking at you like, "Oh, you've been married for 5 years. What are your kids?" And people don't have not boundaries. People don't have that's a word. It's just people don't weigh their words. People are not very careful. They'll ask you, "So when are you having kids?" Right? People don't. They don't consider what you're going through. It's when are you having kids? Why are you not having kids? And even our culture, in some places, your mother-in-law will bring another woman to have that child if you're unable to produce, right? So I feel like those pressures need to subside a little bit.
True.
That societal expectations need to subside. There are women out there who say they don't want kids, and the minute you open your mouth and say that there's an uproar, you cannot
Yes,
say that. How
yes.
dare you
I agree.
say that? That is selfish. And it's like, it's my what happens to my body, my choice. So we need to get that. We need to move on from it. We need to allow people do whatever they want to do and however they want to do it, and let them be. And let's take that away from it being an expectation to being, if it happens for you, fine, right? If it doesn't, then it does. And if the woman doesn't want it, no woman should go through it just because you are expecting her to do it. And I feel like we need to give grace for, like, we already touched on, like, hormonal. If you're struggling through, like, a woman is struggling through PCOS and other things, endometriosis, her first thing on her mind is her health. It's not that, right? And you're adding that. So it's deep. Like, it goes very deep. And I think it's our surroundings, the people we support ourselves. So we need to just show up.
So
Right.
you think it's this weight that brings that emotional pain on women?
It is.
But to, as believers,
No.
later on in scripture, it is said that children are a gift and a heritage of the Lord. So why should a believer, you're a Christian, why
Right.
should a Christian woman cry if she's not getting this gift
But
from
Hannah
God?
cried. Hannah was crying, no? Hannah was on the altar, right?
I'm struggling to understand it, honestly.
Because it is an expectation, right? It almost feels like you have failed, right? And that's what I'm saying. The fulfillment, that was where the fulfillment comes in. There are women out there who cannot be bothered. If she has a kid at 60, she's okay. She doesn't have a kid at 16. Life happened, right? But the women that are raised where it is their pride and joy, that is their fulfillment is motherhood, right? And they would go at any length to be. And I feel like it is also our right to be one, if that is what you want, right? If that is what you want, I think when you talk about why we are crying about it, I don't think it even has to do with us. It has to do with our surroundings. Like I said, even within the same church, why are Christian mothers stopping you halfway in? These are mothers. They're supposed to be your mother and counsel you, but they're asking you into not hello, how are you? And they tell you,
Yeah.
someone said, "Oh, why would she not cry?" Because you're putting a burden on her that you don't even realize that you're burdening her to give a child. Do you know what will happen? Do you know how many women die from like childbirth and all? You see, there was a story about this lady who was looking for a child. She was even cursing God, like, why? And she got pregnant and had the baby and passed away. And the same people that were giving her pressure to have a child said, "What was the point? You want, you we wage no." And you see, listen, pregnancy is a lot of things. From day 1 to week 1 to week 40, it is you and the grace and mercy of God that are together in that journey. People don't know, right? And just because some women have it easy, think that, oh, it's normal for everybody to have it easy. It's not. So I think for the pain, we are part of the reason why women go through it, because let them be. Let them be. It's not. I don't think anybody who is able to have it will just sit there and not. People have their reasons. There are couples who marry and want to wait 5 years and get their finances. You don't know the things that are happening in behind closed doors. So I think that as a society, we need to be a little more considerate when we talk about other people. Don't be a womb watcher. It's not your job to be. You pray for the person.
A womb watcher.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't be a womb watcher. Womb watchers are the ones that time you, and then after a certain number of months, they want to start asking you. I mean, there's concern. There's a way to bring concern. And womb watchers are just, and they tell you, a warrior 3 years about. Then, of course, they know. Yeah. They will tell you. They know when you got, and I feel like we need to stop being that kind of, let it be. Right? Let it be. You don't know what people are going through.
And that's what I want, that God should intervene in his own time.
Pray for them. I feel like just pray for them. That's all you can do for somebody is everything is pray for them. That's all you can do for them, right? Stay out of them. You don't, I mean, I'm not going to share my medical history with you every time you ask me, right? But as even within the church, we need to mind our business and pray for people and just mind our business. Just stay out of mind your business.
And for me, I even think that they should explore, other options like even adopting children and stuff like that, and not worry so much about having their own kids. Because one of my biggest problems, the final one, is like this thing can linger on till it even breaks the marriage.
Right, because
this is not the external pressure. This is the pressure that the woman heaps on her own self, maybe as a result of the external pressure.
I disagree with you. Women don't just heap. I think that let me run it back. When you marry a woman, right? I need men to please understand that you didn't marry a baby making machine. Marriage should not be about having children. Marriage is a partnership for life. Marriage is a journey to death do you part. It's okay for you to not have any children and for death to do you. That's your partner, that's your friend. The kids grow and go. All of us grew up and left the house most of us went to boarding school. You started leaving the house at 14. Your kids are going to go. Right? They'll leave. And then you're stuck with the person that you haven't bothered to get to know. Because as we're growing, you're not the same person. The person that you have children with will not be the same person when the children, because we're all growing, we're learning, right? I think people just need to put a pin in it and understand that. And I think that if that was an understanding from the beginning, women will feel a lot better in their marriages. Because as men, you have to support your woman, right? When somebody even asks the question, shut it down. Step in and shut it down. No, it doesn't matter who it is. That's your teammate.
That's how men should support.
Yeah, if you're,
I think that was my one of the questions I'll ask.
if shut it down, you put boundaries around you and your wife. Like your mom can't be in her. No, that's your partner. It's not about kids, right? Like if you're with your wife and you're bedding her, then you're not being supportive, right? It's not about that because I think that the reason why the marriages break, like you had mentioned, is that the woman is feeling external pressure and the man is not supporting her from those pressures. Like, you're supposed to be the head. You're supposed to be my leader. You're supposed to protect me. And you're not doing that. So I'm explaining myself to your mom, your auntie, your brother's uncle's wife, and I'm supposed to defend myself at church.
And you see that.
And at work.
You see that.
Yes. There are a lot of marriages that break because the man's mother, not all of them, some of them, the man's mother is on top of it.
Okay.
She's the womb watcher in the family.
Okay.
There are some where the man, when it's brought up outside, like, actually, instead of shutting it down and being like, we're not going to talk about, we're not talking about my wife. Charlie, me cry, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Because marriage is not about having, I make this joke that some people use marriage as a legal way to have children. And the reason I call it a legal way to have children is that in the church, they only get married so they can have children in a way that, quote unquote, pleases the Lord. That's not judged on because they married and then had children, right? But it's not really the marriage that they want. It's just they want to. Not everybody gets married because some people just do it because of the religious pressures behind it. There are some churches that have certain very strict doctrines that marriage must come before children.
True.
People get into it it's the right way to do it. It's the only time you're pregnant. Being married is the only time you're pregnant. People are not judging you, right? So people get into that. We need to stop it. We need to stop asking people those questions. Men need to step up, put boundaries around your woman, and understand that kids or no kids, that is your partner for life. That is a journey that the hope is for life, till death do you part. I mean, life happens and divorce happens, and it's okay for those things to happen, right? But it's a journey for life. It's something that you have to understand that with or without children. And that is a conversation. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So is there any other way you want men to be supportive, or being able to build these boundaries is enough?
Be on your same page with your woman.
Being on the same page,
Go for health care. Like, go and see a doctor together.
Okay.
You are not special. Like, she's not the only one seeing it. Go with her. If it means so much to you, go with her. And I've heard someone say, well, I've gotten women pregnant before. It's not me. Who knows? Maybe your health, right? So support her. Go with her. I encourage men to go for every appointment that she has pertaining to pregnancy, to fertility. Go with her. And ask the health provider, what can I do to show up, right?
What should people stop saying to women who are waiting in a waiting period?
Stop asking me when I'm going to have. Stop asking me. Don't ask me. Me what the school fees kabeba. Don't leave me alone. Don't ask. Pray for me. Like, if you're that concerned for me, pray for me. If it bothers you that much, pray for me. Stop asking us. Don't ask. Worry.
Do you get asked?
That one not worry. Hey, into why? Umates how are you? Umates because all 5. It's I mean, it's banter sometimes, right?
Church.
Like, oh yeah, okay. Church. I feel like oh my God, don't get me started on church. But yes, I think that is where there are some expectations in the church, in the building, that everybody expects. And I used Christian mothers loosely, not the association Christian mothers. There's an association, but when I say Christian mothers, mothers in the church. Let me rephrase that. So mothers in the church are supposed to be mothers that I feel like young girls should be able to go to her, and some of them are like the things they say. You're like, I don't even understand why we're having this conversation. I think we need to stop. Church needs to just listen, pray for them. That is all you can do. Because when you ask people certain personal questions, you're opening wounds that even you are unaware of. And you put people in a spiral. People stop going to churches for that same reason. Stop asking people when they'll get married. So and usually they ask the woman as if in our culture it is the woman's responsibility to go and find. I don't pay dowry. Why are you asking me, right? When I'm going to find out, like, should I? This is my main shit. And I'm going to want to say I want a husband. I said, like, there are a lot of things going on in people's lives that a lot of them do not know, and they don't even bother or take the time to ask you. Oh, because they don't ask you, is everything okay? Do you need anything? It's when are you having children? When are you doing this? Right? So we need to step back from that, and this is for all our moms, our aunts. Be present, be considerate, give us grace, ask us what's wrong, and we'll talk to you, right?
Okay.
But don't give us your expectations just because you got married at 19. Good for you. We thank the Lord for it. But and sometimes it's even people's calling, the calling on God's the calling God has for them. You and I are not privy to it. People have their destinies. You and I don't know anything about it, right? So we need to leave it alone, in the sense that if you don't have anything productive to add to it, if you don't have anything kind to add to it, don't ask people about what they have going. It's okay to be concerned, but are you voicing that concern out of it because you are genuinely concerned? Then there's a way to go around it.
True.
Or you're just being nosy. Stay out of it. If you can't be kind, considerate, and give them grace, stay out of it.
Wow. And I just want to go into one of these topics that I know it's a very difficult one, but I still wanted to talk about it.
Okay.
I know, for those who don't know, this woman is a very great writer. On your page and Cynical,
Yes.
I read, an article with
Yes.
regards to women.
Yes.
You know very well that that was where it all started. That I wanted
Yeah.
to know more about women.
Yeah, uterus. I think it was uterus unbothered or something.
Yeah, it was unbothered. Yes,
Yeah.
that is it. So I read about intrauterine insemination
Yeah.
and in vitro fertilization.
Right.
IUI and IVF.
Yeah.
Can you briefly explain these two?
Sure. So IUI is when they take the semen or the sperm directly and they put it directly into the womb or the uterus of the woman. I think this happens when you have to be on ovulation, or they give you medications to stimulate ovulation, and then they do that. IVF is when they take the egg and the sperm and then make an embryo and then implant the embryo either in the woman, if she can handle a pregnancy, or a surrogate, and then pregnancy happens. So for some women it's successful, for some it's not, because when they retrieve the eggs for IUI, I mean, there's no egg retrieval, it's just them putting in. For IVF, there's an egg retrieval, and then they have to make sure that the eggs are healthy, and then they take the healthy eggs, fertilize them, and not all of them end up becoming embryos. So that woman that go through it and 0 out of 0, they won't get anything. And it's modern science.
Yeah, modern science.
I'm not against it. I think it is an option for you to try if truly you want the children, by any means necessary. It's there for you to try. I think God gave wisdom. You're probably going to ask me if believers should.
I'm about to.
God gave wisdom, and wisdom for us to have different talents. I think doctors are, I won't say extensions of God on earth, but
So this is for people who are struggling to conceive, right?
Yes. Or women who want to be, the women that skip the whole marriage thing, want to be single mothers and then go. It's a choice.
No, as for that, I don't think they are believers.
Yeah.
No, they can't be believers.
I won't. I think I don't rule them out. It's not for me to say, in your words, right? So it's not for me to get into if it's right or wrong.
Right.
It's a choice, and the lots of life experiences that influence our choices that we make. And so I think one of the ways is to be able to respect people's choices and still love them. But it's a choice, and I think that doctors are here to help. They have the knowledge for it, and so give it a try. It's expensive though. In some countries it is covered, in some countries it is not. So give it a try and see what works for you, what happens, and then you take it from there. Yeah.
Wow. So, but for me, I right off the bat, it's difficult for me up till now. I'm still trying to weigh these options
Right.
and see if it is recommendable for believers because it goes out of biblical standpoint.
A lot of things we do now go out of local.
I agree
Right.
with you.
So I feel like what I don't like us to do is pick and choose what we feel like, oh, this doesn't work, and things that can work. Right. So I think, should I say, there's a saying that it will happen if God wants it to happen. I feel like I'm not saying that anybody who has been through it that it failed because it wasn't for them, but I feel like it's an option, right? And you brought up like adoption. Adoption here in our culture is not really something that people do very well with. There are a lot of if you bring it into the religious parts of it, there are a lot of conversations about finding out the background of a child, knowing because you have to know the history, at least health wise and all that. I think by any means, what is for you, I think you should always pray about these things. So if you pray about it and it works for you, do it. I find that we like you said, for some places they don't believe, or some believers don't believe that we should, but let it be. Right.
I'm one of
Let
them.
it be. Yeah, no, I mean, if your wife wanted to do it, you're going to say that no, not
Oh
in this
yeah,
house.
true. I'm not for now. I'm still not settled on it. So I'll just have to be
what is
honest.
it about it? Is it, do you think there's untraditional? But IUI is the traditional way. You're just not doing the work. You just did the work in a cup so that somebody uses a baster to do it. So IUI, I guess, would work better for you because sometimes I feel like we IVF. I guess maybe because the embryos are created outside of the womb instead of inside of the womb, can make people feel uncomfortable. But it's the same way other sciences work for you. So when you're against some of these things, I also ask that, do you go to the hospital then? So are you saying that when you have an appendicitis, you're not taking the appendix out because it was there?
You see, all I'm trying to say here, is that you're trying to bring me a difficult place, but
That's the point. Is to bring you to a difficult place for you to.
I refuse it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And you see, all I'm trying to say here is that these are modern sciences, like you mentioned,
Right.
and we have a place we came from, and there's a construct for us. There's
Right.
a manual for us,
Right.
and the manual suggests that a man and a woman should come together,
Right.
and so that they can mate and then they can reproduce.
Right.
But in situations where it's not that way, it is not spelled in the Bible. So I think, like you said, we need to pray about it. We need a lot of wisdom.
Right.
But right off the bat, I personally, as it stands now, it's hard for me to subscribe to any of these
I think
ideas.
you should. I think the
I think
safe
I'll
thing
give
to
it
do
to
is
only the
leave.
people who are crying and weeping about it. If they maybe they should try.
I think you should. I think we should learn to leave it alone. And the reason why I say we should leave it alone is this. I think that men would never understand what it is to want to be a mother. It is something is a desire for a woman. She go and you see before IVF was a thing. Were there not women who were going to rivers, deities for children?
Oh yeah.
Traveling on herbs.
True.
So would you say that when a woman is in herbs, that is not right? Or it's to each, I have this to each their own way I feel about certain things. Because I feel like as believers, if you're walking with God, what God says you can do and what I can do are not the same. From the outside looking in, sometimes it's easy for us to look at it and be like, I mean, tears you, or you're not God. Like, okay. I mean, we cannot read his mind from down here, right? So I leave it with, because if it's for you and it's to work for you, I mean, at the end of the day,
Okay.
it's a child. At the end of the day, it's a child. So, I mean, if you tried the Hannah method and you've cried and cried and cried and you've done what you're supposed to do, or you're doing what traditionally you're required to do, and it's not working out. And in some situations, like if you have like things like maybe PCOS and all those things, that's the only way. For some people, that's the only way they'll be able to conceive. That's all they can do for them. So when you have a woman who that is the only way, do you say, oh well, then yens na hoyen?
Me, I'll adopt. I think that's the adoption is much
Is it
better.
biblical?
Biblical. Oh yes, in the Bible we had people.
Who?
Oh, I don't.
I want to know who.
I do not know right now as it stands.
I don't know.
But I think with adoption, you can get a lot of biblical standpoints to justify it because these are people who don't have parents and widows are to be cared for.
I agree with you.
So children of widows,
Right.
children of widowers are to be
What
cared
type
for.
of adoption are you talking about? Are you bringing the child into your home, or you're just going to adopt a kid who stays with their mother and you make sure that you supply all their needs?
No, I'm talking about the ones who don't have parents at all. And
Okay.
They are
From the
stationed somewhere.
orphanage.
Yeah, from the orphanage. I'm thinking about that because that place is much safer and it helps to reduce that burden and also it helps for you to also give an opportunity to a child to experience life the natural way. Instead of,
fair.
Yeah, so that's
fair.
for me. That's it for me. But I'll still think, I'll keep thinking, it's not...
It's not out of your box. Is
yes,
that something
I'll
that
think
you want to
about
see
it.
if you're comfortable with?
Yeah, but I know I will never be comfortable with it. But I'll just think about it.
We'll pray for you.
Yeah. Pray for me. So, but I'm glad you mentioned wisdom with regards to medicine.
Right.
So, how do we hold faith and wisdom, modern science
Right.
or medicine? How do we hold faith and medicinal wisdom?
I think it's discernment. You just need to know what is right. I think that we're all here with wisdom, and that is why we all don't do the same work. We're all good at what we are. There are professions out there who are on top of their fields because they're good at what they are. So it's important for you to know. And I think that prayer is important. Like anything you're doing, any step you're taking, you pray about it, right? You put the Lord into it and then just have him take over it. So I think that for me, I think modern science has come a long way. I think that that's by his grace and mercy that it's come a long way. It's through his knowledge, his grace of wisdom. So I don't think there's anything wrong with modern science.
Okay.
The other things I disagree with, yeah, they're unnatural. But I also feel like it's the knowledge given to us. So I think as believers, I want us to take care of ourselves. Right? You should pray, I get it, but apply wisdom, apply discernment, take care of you. Go and see a doctor. Oh, doctor. It's not everything is witchcraft. Not everything is. I know we live in a spiritual world, but not everything is spiritual. Go and see a doctor. Take care of you, right? Take
It's a
care
little
of you.
bit hard when it comes to trying to navigate these issues for
Right.
most believers who
Right.
really believe that God is the healer and all of that. And so,
But God gives, you see, God gives wisdom. Throughout the Bible, God didn't come down and do things himself. He had someone do it, right? Men are die hands. So you need to remember that men are die hands. So as much as you want him to come down, he has to go through somebody,
true.
right? So your prayer is that your doctor has the knowledge, God gives him the knowledge to heal you or figure it out for you to receive your healing, right? And that's the most we can do.
Awesome.
Because God didn't come. I don't know anywhere in the Bible that he came down himself.
no.
Yeah. So men are down. Just
Yeah, it's only Jesus who came down and was doing miracles on
Yes.
site. And you see, I'm glad today we have a lot of medical practitioners who
Right.
are Christians.
Yes.
So I think those people have to educate us a lot and tell us how we should balance it and be comfortable about
Yeah,
it.
I agree.
Yeah. So does the church sometimes make women feel invisible if motherhood doesn't happen easily?
Yes. Elaborate. Yes. I feel like in the church, not a lot of things are said out loud, but in the way things are done, women feel isolated when you're not, like when we celebrate like Mother's Day, we strictly make it about mothers. And right. And sometimes I think that it's isolating for a woman who is trying and wants that, experience. So I think that as people, or as a church, we need to be more inclusive, and we need to remember like our members and our prayers, and even the mothers in the church. I plead with them to be more hands-on, more kind. Just talk to them and be more inclusive, because what happens with churches after a while, people stop going. Because if you're a woman who got married in the church and you're not having kids, after a few years or after a while, you become that's the stigma they leave you with. Oh, we'll worry 10 years, you know. And sometimes not every woman has her support is church. Not every woman who has a support system. Not a lot of people have friends. Their life revolves around church, right? So it's important for us to support them in that way, you know.
I get you. And so I'm just trying to close down. I'm just trying to get us to wind down now for now.
Okay.
So in this quest that I took to try and understand women, I heard one of my leaders tell me that, okay, it is good that I'm trying to understand women, peacefully coexist with them, but be careful, women are manipulative. And I was like, really? And so I was like, this is one of the things I'll ask you
If
when you
women
come.
are-
He said women are manipulative, even though they are soft, they are the weaker vessels, and you are trying to understand them. You have to be careful because they can manipulate you into understanding things that are ununderstandable.
Women are not inherently manipulative. Men are also manipulative. Being manipulative has nothing to do with the gender. And I think that for that is an experience that they've had. There are manipulative men. Do we say all men are, and I think that we have to be very careful when we make such blanket statements on, oh, women are, men are. Talk about your experiences. Girl be the Iowa. It's okay. I have nothing to do with it. I was not there,
But what do you think he was trying to communicate?
I think that for him, maybe he's had an experience where, women have, if you're with a woman, women have their way. If they want something out of you, a woman who knows you very well would get that thing out of you. Not all women, but of course, in relationships, you can ask any married woman or anybody in a serious relationship would tell you that we all know each other's weak spots. So if I wanted something out of you, there's a way I can get it out of you, right? So I think that I don't think it's fair because it's a blanket statement. Women are not inherently manipulated. That's not. I don't think so. I think that manipulation is a character flaw that some people have. Both genders have it. But again, discernment.
All right.
Discernment
All right.
is
So
important.
great. As I navigate the landscape of women and
Right.
relationships with women, what inevitable realities or one reality should I expect to deal with?
A roller coaster of emotions. Yes. You should be ready to deal with a roller coaster of emotions. Not when I say that, not necessarily negatively.
Okay.
Right? But when your wife has her baby, she's not the same woman that she was 40 weeks prior. She's a different woman now. She's a mom now. She sleeps less. What are you doing to support her? So being with a woman is growing with a woman, understanding that she'll go through menopause. That's a different kind of woman, right? You're going to have a woman who may or may not, go through a miscarriage. That's a whole different beast. There's a woman that she's going to lose a job. She's going to quit a job. She's going to hate her job. She's going to love her jobs, what are you doing in every step, right? So when I say roller coasters of emotions, I'm not saying that all of it is bad, like we're throwing dishes, no. But you need to understand that she's going to be happy sometimes, she's going to be sad, and she's human.
Yeah.
She's going to be sad sometimes, she's going to be happy sometimes. I think that men get away with the fact that men have probably 3 emotions or 4 that they show, right?
Okay.
But women have range. Women are complex beings.
Okay.
Naturally.
Okay.
You need to understand that to be with one.
I'm
That
trying.
is complex, right? So I feel like where we fail is to understand you are never going to, even people, you will never know a person. You will never, like, it's impossible to know a person through and through, because they change as they go, they mature as they grow. What is important is understanding how to support each other,
Okay.
how to deal with these things.
Okay.
So, as a man getting to know women, you need to be ready for everything that life would give her, and how she'll handle it, and what kind of support you're going to be for her.
Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome. So right off the bat, for women who are struggling, going through fertility issues,
right.
any woman out there who is not at the position of feeling optimally straight and even enjoying her walk with God as believers, I think you're a believer too.
Right.
And so, what would you say to your women out there?
You are enough. You are enough as you are. There's no need. You are enough. I feel like that in itself. There's no more I could add to. You are enough. You are loved. You are cared for. You are valued. And just take care of you. Take your health seriously. I want them to take their health seriously. I want them to take their life seriously, their self-care seriously. Set boundaries. I think it's very important to set boundaries, to have a reassessment of your life, and weed out the things that need to be weed out. It's difficult, but weed them out. Put a reset on your life, and then take hold, take control, take hold. Nobody's going to rescue you, right? Wow. But you're enough as you come. And I think that is enough for me to put out there. Yeah.
Awesome. And I also would just add that look for Christ.
Yes.
Look for Jesus in all
your ways.
Yeah. So the first and foremost, like scripture will always say, or as in Matthew 6:33, it says that seek ye first.
Yes.
Seek ye first.
Yes.
So seek ye Yahweh first. And as you navigate the issues, He will be there for you. He will help you to get through it all. Thank you so much. It has been a very awesome one. It has been a very fruitful conversation, a honest one. I know you've carefully selected your words, so whoever is drinking from your thoughts is definitely carrying wisdom.
Right.
Thank you very much for
having
giving me this opportunity.
It was fun. We should do it again.
Yeah, sure. We will. Yeah. And so for anyone watching, if this has been a very insightful session for you, if it has blessed you, if it has given you a new perspective, especially with the men about women, and about women too, if it has given you some morale to go through life with much more composure, with a poise, to know that you are enough, like she said, and God is with you, like I also said, then I think you should consider sharing, liking, commenting. And if you know anyone who needs this very session, do well to let them have it. And until then, stay renewed by truth. Thank you.